this last year.
Yeah, she took
just
it.
barely. She took it, so she goes on. This will be her last trial in the novice, and she moves all the way to intermediate. Comes all the way to us out of California. Her and her husband Reb. This is a family event. We talk about that. Reb is showing dogs also. Also, Reb's brother Dennis is showing dogs. You know, if you think about it, Steph, I mean, how many families do we really have here
Oh,
all together at once?
there's a lot.
Yeah.
So many. I was gonna say I don't even know the number, but so many cool. And this is what we look forward to every year.
Yeah. I always root for Stacy. She's probably, in my opinion, the most improved handler in the nation this year. Would probably be Stacy Bisnett. She's really done a really good job.
I say it's fun to see them as they start and as they grow and progress throughout the years. I think that's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Gets them through 3 nicely. Again, I kind of talked about this before. The 2, 3, and 4, you can make up a lot of time because it's a great flow if you can get those sheep moving.
These are the first people to see these sheep. You guys, we loaded these on the mountain.
Yeah.
They have not been through this course. They have not come. Our sheep herders use dogs, and so they're used to dogs. But these sheep these aren't knee knockers training
No.
sheep.
No, they are not.
And the novice, we're always a little bit nervous about letting novice have them first, but they have done a great job with them.
They really have. So as of right now, unofficially, our fastest time is a 3:23. That was Mariah, Galindo, and Sage.
Really? Mariah did?
Yes.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
So yeah, fast times, and they'll only get faster as the week goes on. As the nerves leave, and then it gets down to business, we'll see some fast times.
If you guys walk down and watch the novice people coming into there, so a lot of them their first national finals. And people get a little bit more nervous about sheep probably than anything else because they're afraid they're going to grip out or hurt the sheep, but they actually do a really good job.
Yeah. I say we should have a camera down there just to see the faces as you're walking into this.
We got your camera guy right here. After this one runs, young man, we'll go down there and show all the people sitting here wanting to come in, ready to come in with their dogs.
So Stacy had 3 go through that 4, 2 slipped off to the side, so she's going to reload those and see if she can get all 5 through.
They do have the option to take it, so 9 points ahead for each one. So she could have took 27 points on that and went on.
Yes.
But she's here to win, so she's not going to do that.
Yep.
We need complete scores.
Oh, yeah.
Have you talked about the ultimate stock dog?
I have not yet.
So the ultimate stock dog, these dogs are the dogs that are shown on sheep and cattle. We'll have a national champion sheepdog, a national champion cow dog, and at the end of this deal, we will combine for the dogs that show on both. And the most...
Yeah. Yeah, such a cool thing to do, and it's such a big deal to be able to have a dog that can go from running cattle to turn around and run sheep, and some of these dogs have to do that back to back. So the fact that they can kind of slow down a little bit on sheep, because sheep are a little bit faster than the cattle.
Sheep are faster. They'll show the mistakes of the dogs way faster.
So great job on that pen. So she's unofficially about a 420, so she just needs to exhaust them out.
Do we have a 5-minute today on the time?
Yes, yep, 5 minutes.
Yes, she needs to get these exhausted. Once again, it's so important. You guys have got to get full scores.
Yeah.
They want to go into the short round, and a good job by Stacy Bisnett.
Nice job.
If they want to go into the short round, they have got to have full scores on all their runs.
So she does receive full points, and we'll listen for her official time.
And Beverly with a score of 270.
They're here competing. then they're able to walk around and they can kind of help their dog as well. Again, because this is the novice class, so we want them to have every opportunity to help those dogs out.
You guys, I'm sure can hear the wind that's blowing a little bit, so it makes it a little bit tough sometimes for the dogs to hear these guys.
Yeah.
Especially, no offense to the women that are a little bit softer voiced. That wind will pick up their voice and dang sure carry it away. So she's still working on her fetch.
Yeah.
As long as she can stay calm, this dog actually works for her really good.
I'd say that's something that I don't think people realize, is that sometimes your elevated voice and how excited you get, it elevates the dog as well. So being able to stay calm, it's a huge thing to be in there and you have your nerves going. So kudos to these handlers. They've handled it so well today.
First national finals. This dog's working good for her.
Oh, yeah. There, she's going to get him turned.
There you go. Good job, Whitney. Really good job on her fetch. Now, if she keeps the flow going here, I think she'll be able to get through here all right. Because Ben is working off, and he's working just where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, and he lined him right up for that, too.
Good job, Whitney. Going on to number 3. Now, if it was me, I'd keep the dog behind him and in contact. See how the sheep stop like that? You want to keep them in motion like that.
Yeah, so they don't have time to kind of think about what direction they want to go.
Every time they stop, you have to relift them. So when they stop, they're looking around in a 360 where they want to go. When they're moving, you can kind of control the flow of it. So.
Yep, and you have those panels over there that can kind of help keep them.
Yep.
Going to that 3.
Right there, he just overflanked just a little bit. I think when he's getting down on that end of the arena, he's having a hard time hearing us.
I was going to say, I think with that wind.
Yep. If she needs to just walk up there a little bit and she'll stay a little bit closer to him, they'll hear her voice. There you go. Stop him. Good job.
And again, she can walk clear up there to kind of help him. There, she's going to get him lined up.
I'm hoping Sam's down there. I haven't seen him. I think he's next.
So he is one of our stock setters. So he might still be back with the sheep.
No,
Hopefully
he's ready.
There she gets him lined up. Good job. They're wanting to turn a little bit, but Whitney did a great job. Gets him through 3. Now she's going to head to that number 4. Again, with this novice class, you can walk around to help, and sometimes, and especially with the wind blowing, like we were just saying, it might pay to walk down there. The one thing you do have to remember, though, is once you get them through this 4, it is a long walk back to this 5 to get to the pen. So you got to be aware of where you're at and where you need to get to. Gets them lined up nicely. Great job through 4. Now she's headed to the pen.
Good job, Whitney. She's got plenty of time, too. She's just at 3:42.
Oh, yeah.
Ben's working off of him beautifully, too.
He really is.
And she's coming down here like she means business.
Yes. I talked about that earlier, is that there is no running. The handlers have to walk.
I hope she gets him pinned here. Slow down, Whit. Slow down, Whit.
So I talked about this a little bit, that is a dead end. And so those sheep sometimes don't want to go to that dead end.
And right here, she's got the dog on the back side of the pen, so they can see the dog on the back side. She needs to bring him around and get him up on that top side of the pen with her.
Yeah, and sometimes just stopping and giving the sheep a couple of seconds to kind of settle helps getting them to be willing to walk into that one.
There she goes. Now she's set up right.
Nice.
Slow down, slow down.
She's got one that just
She's moving a little too fast. She'll get it figured out here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Wendy, slow down there. Good job, Whit.
Good job,
Good
Whitney.
job, Whit.
First time out.
First time
she did
out.
Great.
Did a good job.
So she completed 4.
Hopefully her family's at home getting to watch it.
Yes.
Whitney and status with a score of 180. Up next.
class. That's a huge deal.
Here he goes. First round of the finals. That nice leash made of baling twine that he got. And somebody said, "Where'd you get that leash?" He said, "Made in China."
Made in China. Yep. Isn't it funny how the
Oh,
leashes
yeah,
are never to be found when you need
Never.
them?
Oh, never. Sam loves getting a little piece of baling twine.
I was gonna say we might as well just use twine all the time instead of worrying about the leashes. Calls for his sheep.
Sends Jack on your way. Slow down, Sam. This dog has a really good job about lifting and staying in contact. Good job, Sam. Now walk him. Easy. Good job, Sam.
Nice job.
He uses this dog at home, works him on the ranch. You know, he's his working dog, not his trialing dog, but he trials him.
Yeah, this is just an everyday thing. Good job.
Good job, Sam. Whoop, there's a panel right there, Jack. He was so focused on the sheep.
I'm glad he got stopped in time.
He'll get him. He'll bring him back over. He kind of lost his flow there a little bit.
I was gonna say he's only at a minute and he's going into that third one.
He'll be all right.
Oh yeah.
Now hold him, Sam. Hold him. Let him look. That a boy. Good job,
Nice
Sam. Now
job.
keep his flow going. This dog is fun to watch.
He really is.
His grandpa, so his mom's dad was my Levi dog that won the first time dog to ever win cattle and sheep. He's been a fun bloodline. He moves so much like him, it almost brings tears to my eyes thinking of my old Levi dog, but he sure takes care of him.
Yep. Great
Slow
job
down,
through
Sam.
that.
Slow down, Sam. Slow down. Slow down. Nice and easy. Sam, get up here, buddy. I want to coach him. I got to shut him.
I say it's always fun when the parrot.
Nice and easy, bud.
Oh, just sneaks past that.
He'll be all right. He's got lots of time.
Oh yeah. And Sam positioned himself
Hold
so
him,
he can
hold
kind
him,
of like.
hold him. Hold him, now walk him. That one old pig. You can call sheep a pig. They're not, they identify as sheep, but
Gets him in front.
easy, 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 easy. Hold him. Wait.
So you want this to be the sheep's idea to go in there. There you
Yes,
go.
Sam!
Nice job. Gets 5, so now he just needs to get him out and get him to that exhaust, and his time will stop when that last sheep
He has
comes
the
through.
option to walk in there like this.
Yep.
Now get to your exhaust, son. Go. Big steps, buddy. Little legs, big steps. Little legs, big steps. There it goes. Power walking, buddy.
He's gonna get that gate opened.
Now help him out.
There, they're gonna see it.
Beautiful run, Sam
Nice
White. Yes,
job,
sir.
Sam.
Yes,
Full
sir. If I'm
points.
not mistaken, he's probably the youngest kid in the novice. Okay, I'm not trying to leave you, but
Yeah.
my son's running next up
Nope,
in the other
go
ring.
ahead. Thanks, Steve, for joining us. Nice. Okay, up next we have Barbara Jacobs and GS Levi. We're in the Trumium Power Arena. doing the novice sheep round 1 to start off the week. If you want to jump on, you can also go to the Neutrina Loyal Life Arena, and the open sheep are going in there, or not the open sheep, sorry, the open cattle. And then in the, I gotta remember my names. I'll have them down by the end of the week, I promise. And then we have in the True Arena, the intermediate cattle round 1 going. Barber gets her fetch. Levi's getting the sheep moving. Like Steve said, it is important to keep those sheep at a movement, or have them moving so that they don't have time to stop and decide where they want to go. Putting enough pressure on. Levi's fast to get him back. Nice job. Gets them through 2 nicely. Now she's going to head to 3. These sheep are wanting to run a little bit fast, so she can, if she can keep them lined up, she can smoke down to this number 3. Gets them through 3 nicely. She's headed to 4, still under 2 minutes. So this is the only time that you will see this course set up. Every day they change the courses. As the week progresses, they get a little bit harder. Oh, let's zoom to the, there we go. Just working on lining him up to 4. Gets them through 4 nicely, headed to the pen. So this number 5, it is all or nothing. All 5 sheep have to be penned before you can move on to the exhaust. These other 4 down here, so Barbara's going to send Levi to pick up that lonely sheep and put it back in there. Good choice on her part to bring that one. Again, that's something you have to consider. Do you take the 4 sheep down to that one, or do you bring that one back? She gets them all grouped together. Now she's going to work on getting them to that pen. Watch that note. There you go. All it takes is her nose. She lets them settle for a minute. That one decides he wants to go the outside, so Levi's going to go pick him back up. Again, you want this to be a good experience for those sheep. There you go. Nice and calm. She gets the okay. So sometimes it takes an extra couple of seconds, but it's worth it in the end, I think, just because you let those sheep settle. They're able to see that they can walk in there. So she's going to get her exhaust. She's going to walk out there to help. That one just lifted its head and didn't quite want to go in there, so she has about, unofficially about 30 seconds. So she does want to, there you go. Nice job. Get them through. Full points. And we'll listen for her time. Okay, up next we have Jennifer Stottlemyre and J.M. Gus. So Steve was talking about a little bit ago about the ultimate stock dog. So to compete for this honor, the dog and their handler must compete in cattle in both arena and field, as well as sheep. The champion will have the highest combined score and the fastest time on the 6 different challenging run. It's a huge thing to be able to be named the ultimate stock dog. I'm just going to look up. Last year, the ultimate stock dog went to... Actually, I'm going to have to look for that. Ultimate stock dog. In the open, it was Dwayne Hurleman and Sid. Nursery was Brian Jacobs and Ivanka. Intermediate was Derek Westover and Sky. And novice was Shania Ellenwood and Ike. So congratulations to them. It's such a huge feat to be able to do that. And kudos to them. And we're excited to see who's going to claim that title this year. So Jennifer's working on getting them lined up to that. Fetch right there. Gets him through nicely there. You also have to factor in with the wind, we also have airplanes going by. So if you're using those voice commands, it might be a little bit harder for those dogs to hear. Just lining them up to go through 2. Great job through 2. She's going to head to 3. Just sneaking past that 3. But Gus gets in there and gets him turned back. There she gets him. Great job through 3. Great job through 4. Now she's going to head to this pen. Can let them settle for a minute. Good job. Just needs that butt to go through, gets the pin. Good job. I liked how Jennifer just kind of let him settle there for a minute. Gus was great to kind of react to those quick movements and kept him right there by the pin, and she was able to get him pinned. So she walks in to help him. They can walk in on number 5 to help get the sheep out of that. Now she's going to work on getting him to that exhaust. Again, in order to get to that short round that's happening on Friday, you do need to have full points. You need to complete the course. It's very important to be able to complete that. Great job, full points, and we'll listen for official time. So up next we have Parker Harris and IMP Gwen. He goes ahead and calls for his sheep. Just getting him lined up to go through that fetch. So they just kind of came to this east side, so he's going to circle him back around. So gets him back to this south side of the arena, so now he's going to circle him and get him in line. Sheep are so fast, all it takes is just a little bit and they can deviate their course and they're going to just sneak past that. But Gwen's doing a great job of keeping that pressure on him and keeping him moving. As we've said before, we have 3 arenas running today. Tomorrow we'll add in the field events, so that should be fun. So we'll have 4 running all day. You can jump onto Mountain State Stock Dog, the Facebook page for the live links, or you can also visit the website. They'll also have the results there for each round. You can see the run order for the next day, so you can watch your favorite handler and dog. Great job, Parker and Gus. Or not Gus, Gwen, sorry. Okay, Parker's working on getting them lined up for that too. So again, they do need to be loaded from this north side. Great job through 2. And Parker's going to walk up. We've said this before, so the novice handlers, they do have a handler line. It is behind the fetch line, and then as soon as those sheep go through the fetch, then they're free to walk about the course. You do not want to walk through any of the obstacles though, but you can go up and help your dog where you see needed, kind of fill in holes. Just nice and easy to that 3rd. Good job through that number 3. This is a fun dog to watch. They're doing a great job of keeping enough pressure on that sheep to keep him moving. Beautiful through that 4. Now he's headed down to the pen. So this is where the handler, they can decide what side they want to be on. So Parker's going to decide he's going to come to this east side. So one of the benefits that we have been seeing in order to get these sheep into the pen is to kind of let them settle for a minute before you push them right into there. It is a dead end. We've seen it a little bit before if the dog's on that back side too. They're not willing to go in there as much, but gives them a minute to settle. All 5 sheep must be past those lines, so he's going to step up there. Great job. He will get that pen. He has about 10 seconds, so he's going to hustle in there. He's going to have to speed walk. So it doesn't quite get the whole thing done, but great job for Parker and Gwen. He should be excited for that run, for the first run of this week. Great job to them. So 5 minutes and a time, or in 225 points is what he's going to end up with.
That was Parker and Gwen with a score of 225.
Next up is Carter and Leah. They come from Oregon. This is one of our junior handlers. And he's called for his sheep. He needs to make this first panel. And they're just coming off to the side a little bit fast. Now he can come up almost to those panels if he needed to. That's their handler line at this point. Novice is they can't go where the sheep are now. They have to stay on this side. And if he gets these guys a little bit settled, he's going to get that panel. There we go. Stop. Nice. There he got it. Now he's got one. He's coming over here to two. They need to come from this right side, so they need to turn. Very, very nice turn right through the panel. And now he's going down to three. And again, he can walk anywhere if he needs to. A little bit fast. His dog's just holding him. He'll get his dog flanked around and they'll start going. There she goes. And we're heading down to this panel that's on the fence. And these novice handlers get to move around. And he's done a nice job on three. Now he comes over to four. And they should be coming towards us through four. And he's got it lined up really nice. And here we come. Right through we go. Now we're coming up here to the pen, so we've been seeing that if they get those sheep really settled here at the entry of the pen, we'll help them out, but they're towards the back fence, so he's got to bring them back to the opening because that's a dead end for them. And they need to get all their bodies in there, and he just got a little quick. And he's got a little bit of time here, so he's going to come around and get all five in there. And he's got the pen, nicely done. And he's got good time to go over to the repen. And it's once that stock clears this last repen. And takes his time. to set it up. He's holding his side to make sure everything's going to go in that little. And here comes the last one. And that's timed 333 and full points 270. Available for us. And this is Stacy Bisnet and LB3 Jane from Wilton, California. These are our novice dogs. She's called for her stock and sent her dog. So our time is running and it's done a nice job. Come by, doing a clockwise flank with, and they skimmed by. So we'll get them turned around to get back in there. Away to me is the counterclockwise flank. A little slightly, these sheep are reacting to the movements of the dog, so have to have the reaction out of the dog and out of the sheep all at the same time, and that's the timing of it. Here we go. There, she got it settled a little. And through the first panel she goes. She got all 5. Now they need to head to that panel against the fence over here. They come from the right to the left, so if they just come down the fence, she'll have this panel. And she can move anywhere at this point. And there we go, marching through. Now again, we're going down to number 3. And got one that's kind of given a little business to it. And there she's got them in it, but she's got to get them all the way out. And here she goes. She's got number 3 and heading to number 4. And got that nicely lined up. She's down there making sure that it's all happening. And now we're coming to this little hold pin. And got to get them a little bit settled so they can see there's some place to go. Just got to get them to the opening side here. There we go. And just let them settle here. And she's just getting herself set up again. Uh-oh, there we go. It's chilly here this morning. It was in the 20s and it's like in the 50s right now. So it's a little bit breezy. The livestock sometimes get a little frisky. Now she's got them nicely settled here. And nice and patient. Now she got the pen. The judge has called that. Now she has a little bit of time here that she can get them in the repen. And we got to get them heading the right direction. And that will be time. Full points with 270.
That was Stacy and Jane with a time of 4:11 and a
And
score of
4:11 is the official
Up next is
time.
Antoinette Harms.
We have lots of advertisements from the local. They've invited us to their town center on Tuesday. Antoinette Harms with MISR Russ comes to us from Montana. And her sheep are out. She has called for them. And getting them lined up for that panel's always tricky. Ugh. It's always a heartbreaker as a handler. So right there. She's going to step up and help her dog out here. All right, the sheep has to clear that panel, which it has done. So now they're all eligible to come the correct way. They need to come up towards us. And there she's got things settled. And then her dog just overflanked just a hair. And these are our novice handlers, so they're new to this. They could have an experienced trained dog doing this. It's based on the person's experience. And it's a great way to get started in the program. And we've gone around again. And this one is the one that gets our tiebreaker time, so they have to get this one. They can't move on from this panel. She got the all through. That was great. Now she's coming up to this panel. She's just getting a little control over him before she goes there to number 2. And she did a nice job getting a handle on that dog and making sure everything gets a little quiet right here. And we're still working on number 2, so they're coming back up. And there she did. She got number 2. Nicely done. Now she's moving down and she's going down with her dog to help it out, which is always good. Since this is time and you only have 5 minutes to complete this. doing a nice job just taking her time going down to that panel. We have 5 minutes, so she's got a little bit of the course to do yet. And the wind's starting to pick up here. We're heading down. She's going to get a little closer to her panel and see if the dog will fetch and bring those sheep to her. There we go. Heading nicely into there. And she got the third panel. Now she's heading over here to 4. And there we go. The camera got over to it. And she's making number 4 very nicely. Now we're heading to the pen here, and she's got them nicely settled, but she's got 180 points. Her time is 5 even. She did a nice job. And Craig Baker is up next with Maggie. And this is Craig Baker and Maggie May. And he's called for his sheep and sent his dog. And he is from Tempe, Arizona. And again, those little fetch panels look like a big opening there, but it's a little tricky to get them all lined up. So he needs to get his dog out and around, get things a little bit settled here, and through those panels. And again, they have to make something through the first panel because that's the tiebreaker time is done at that point. So he's asking his dog to get out, so hopefully, and he's got her stopped, and he's trying to do a little pull the sheep back to him. But again, it looks like a big opening, but those sheep think it's a trap. So he's going to step up a little and around and through they go. Good job. He's got number 1. Now we're heading to number 2. So we can just bring him down this fence now. They need to come from the right side of this panel and through. That's good. Get them a little settled here. working to get the dog a little bit settled here. Take the long drive and cooler temperatures. Definitely it's about 50 degrees here. I'm sure the dog came out of temperatures of 100 degrees down in Arizona. So a little bit of change. Breeze is kind of going and makes the sheep a little frisky. Good job. He's doing a good job getting a little control, letting those sheep see there's a little space, letting his dog know that just bring me the sheep. Now he's got number 2. So we're off and heading to number 3. And he's got a nice flow going. And he's just walking to get set up to keep the flow going. Nice smooth movement by his part. Now if we move the camera a little over, there we go. We can see that that flow's just lined him up perfectly for number 4. He's just got to catch those little, there he got those heads turned. Nicely done. Got number 4. Now up here to the pen. And they've just gone by, so we got to get them turned around and settled at this opening. These are novice handlers. Now you see he took his hat off because the wind's blowing and it's kind of picking it up, and this is not a good place for it to go flying. And nice and calm. Little patience here. There we go. And he got this pen, so he's got number 5. Now he's moving on to the repen. And they're lined up. In they go. Last sheep. The time stops. 4:34 with full points of 270.
That was Craig and Maggie May with a
And the official time is 4:35. We want to thank all our got dogs. Our next handler in the ring is Cynthia Jennings with Sis. And she comes to us from Lake Stephen, Washington. She called for her sheep. She's got them lined up. They haven't passed. So she's doing nicely getting it set up here. And her dog did a nice job kicking out. But not quite. They skimmed around. Here she goes. Setting it up nicely. He's got them nice and calm. And these are novice handlers. So some of these people, first or second time out. So there she made the first panel, very nicely done. And again, that's the tiebreaker time, how much time it takes you to get through that first panel. Nice setup for the second panel, and through they go. And she's settling the little fast pace, getting them back on the fence so that we can line up for number 3. And she could walk anywhere if she would like. That's up to the handler, and she's getting them slowed down. There she goes. They've entered 3, and she has completed 3 and heading to number 4. And she's got it nicely lined up for 4, and nice and smooth. She's completed number 4. So she's coming to the pen, and she's done a nice job. She's moved herself over here. She's out of screen because she's up here by the pen, trying to get set up to get her dog line up with her sheep. And she's just helping a little bit. That's part of the game. It's a team sport. So she's got it lined up. Now she's just got to get everybody settled here. She might move around here. And that's a pin. So she's got number 5. And now she's going on to the repen. And she's got a nice little time going here. And there's kind of a little panel there that's helping you get them in, and they just skimmed by that. And there we go. 3:30 is my time. And she's got full points at 270. Wait here to see what they tell me. Prize. And we're getting set up here for Daniel Wildland and Ben. They come from Gillette, Wyoming, or Montana. And he's waiting. He's called for his sheep, and he's on his way. And he's got him coming at a nice little pace here. Got him nice and calm. His dog's nice and wide. Got everything calm. Bringing him straight in. Again, these are our novice handlers. And so they could have a more experienced dog in this class so that they gain the experience. And now he got number 1, so he's on to number 2. He's done a nice job of setting this up nice and smooth. Nice teamwork here. His dog anticipated that sheep, thinking there's too much pressure there. You know, they're used to being in a little more open areas, so the fences and the tarps affect the sheep, and the dog's doing a nice job of saying, hey, stay in here. Just walk, there's a hole there, just walk through those 2 panels and you're good to go. And he got number 2. Nicely done. Now we're heading down to number 3, which is at the other end of the arena, and he's got a nice pace going here. Nice and smooth, keeping everything at a good even keel. It's a little chilly here. It's about 50 degrees. Sun's out. It's dry, but it's a little windy. The wind can kind of get to the sheep because the black tarps are flopping. And now he's completed number 3 very, very nicely and heading off to number 4. They're coming across really nice here. And he's got it all lined up for, and right through number 4, nicely done. Now he's getting set up here for the little hold pin. And he's still got that one that's not so sure it wants to stay together, but the dog says, yes, you stay with the others. Okay, he's going to bring him back up here. If he gives him a little moment here to see the opening. It's kind of hard when the dog comes in on this fence side. There's not as much room on this side for that dog to kick out wide enough, and didn't quite get him turned into the pen there. So he's slowly getting him back up here. There, now he's got him on this side. That might be a better advantage. He's got that little problem sheep kind of thinking about going the right way and then turns around and goes the wrong way just when I say he's going to go the right way. And this is always hard when they are skimming by that opening. Okay. He's bringing him up this side again. He's changing his positions a little bit. I'm just going to try to slow it all down to get him up to that opening. And this one's just been challenging him a little bit each time, and it's going to run in the pen. See if it'll convince everybody else to join it. This is, the novice handlers have the first sheep out, so this is, they're getting to set them up for the rest of the week. And they've been doing a really nice job. They haven't been through some of this stuff at this location, so it all looks new. And he ran out of time, so his points are 180 and full time of 5. Salinas, California. And he will wave for his sheep and they'll let him out. And we can't always see it on the feed, but the time will start when the last head comes through or he sends his dog. So that's when the time will start. And it's hard for these young dogs because they are kind of probably running out. We can't really see the sheep. They're kind of out of the frame. They're just standing over here. There we go. And they want to get everything stopped. That's what these dogs like to do, and then get them going in the right direction. So hopefully this will be a nice, easy start here. Can lead to nice, calm sheep. And he's just being patient, and so is his dog. Gonna step up a little bit and see if he can get his dog to let go a little bit. And as I said, that hole looks like a big hole. They should just want to run through there, but it's not. But here he goes. Almost. Oh, no. Darn. All right. Needs to bring them back through. He can daylight them. They have to go all the way through, and he can turn them right back around and bring them back the correct way. They need to head towards us. Head towards the camera here, and we're good. So the wind's picking up again. I don't know if you guys can hear the background. All the tarps and things are flapping pretty good, and it's creating a little action over on this side. And there you go. He's got number 1. That will be his tie points. So if there's a tie in score and time, that panel is what breaks the time. Now he's working on number 2, getting him nicely settled. Moving his dog along nicely, and there he's got number 2. Now we're heading down the fence to number 3 at a nice little pace here. And he and the dog are just taking him straight down there. And again, this is our novice class. This is round 1. They have gotten to the sheep the first round has been our novice dogs, and they're just doing an excellent job taking care of these sheep and getting them prepared for the whole week. Nice calm work, making sure they're taking things nice and steady, but it is time and point, so consistent flow. And they have cleared number 3. Now we're heading up to number 4, and they just kind of skimmed it a little bit here. So he's bringing his dog around to take him back. And if they go the wrong way, they got to go all the way past those wings. And when the judge is in a better situation, he can ask if they've cleared if he needs to. And he must think they did, so he's got his points there. And as you see, the hats are going because of the wind. Okay, now we're on to the pen. And he's setting himself up here. Dog just came in a little bit on his side there. Now he's going to get the sheep settled right here. And there he's got him settled up. And slowly, hopefully he gets things going in the right direction here. I just looped around. Coming up to time here. Just slowing it down a little bit. So 180 with a time of 5. Next up is Barbara Jacobs and GS Slow-Mo. And we have a Nursery sponsoring. We're going to Moving Sheep, so I'll let you look at the ads that'll be for you. So we'll be back in just a minute.
Thank you, Charlie. Thanks, Rocky. Thanks, Cooper. You too, Toby and Jody and Daisy and Sadie and Gracie. Your loyalty means everything to us, which is why we perfected the recipes behind our food and included special support for mobility and immunity. Find premium nutrition near you at nutrinaworld.com/loyallife. Nutrina, what's inside counts.
Making sure your pets get the nutrition they need to live long, happy lives? That's what we do best. With our special blends of quality ingredients, you can count on us for the pets counting on you. After all, being the best pet parent ever is what you do best. From playful pups to cuddly kittens, Loyal Life Super Premium Pet Food makes it easy to choose the product that's just right for your pet's life stage. Every pet has their own special nutritional needs, and we've got the super premium option your family's best friend deserves.
Your dogs deserve the best, so give them the best with our stock of Nutrina Loyal Life pet food. In every bag, there's wholesome nutrition that's free of corn, wheat, and soy, added digestive support with prebiotics and probiotics, and special ingredients to optimize your pup's immune strength, mobility, and overall health. Get the best for your dogs with Nutrina Loyal Life pet food.
We are so excited to launch our new line of super premium pet foods. We built it with passion and purpose, with everything we have, to create science-driven, balanced nutrition that makes a real difference in an animal's health. How do we know this? Because we've done it before. Now we're doing it even better. We've created truly next-level formulas. We choose our ingredients based on what's naturally important in an animal's diet. Our omega-3s are higher, our calcium levels are controlled, our palatability is greater, and our consistency is hands down superior. We've built our manufacturing facility from the ground up, the right way, to guarantee we'll deliver the very best quality food possible. And we'll do it consistently from bag to bag. We've brought together an expert team, folks who share our passion, who all know what they're doing because they've done it before. We make food your animal wants, with nutrition their whole body needs. That's next level pet nutrition. Next level. Science is in the bag.
Your dogs deserve the best, so give them the best with our stock of Nutrina Loyal Life pet food. In every bag, there's wholesome nutrition that's free of corn, wheat, and soy, added digestive support with prebiotics and probiotics, and special ingredients to optimize your pup's immune strength, mobility, and overall health. Get the best for your dogs with Nutrina Loyal Life pet food.
Your relationship is built on trust. Your buddy is with you for work and play from sunup to sundown. And you can trust Nutrina True to deliver nutrient-packed formulas for active dogs like yours. Each bite is True Immune Power.
Okay, we have Barbara Jacobs and G.S. Rommel from Galt, California. And she's calling for her sheep. And just so you know, the sheep come out, and if she hasn't sent her dog, that's when the time starts. Or if she sends her dog, that starts the time. So she's trying to get her dog to flank around those sheep so she can line up for that center panel, not the panel we're looking at. She's got to move them over a little and line them up. And she's got them nicely set there. And this panel, once they clear it, and I believe not everyone went through there, so she's going to loop around again. And she's trying to get them to settle a little so that she can get them straight through there. And there they went right on through, and that is the tiebreaker. So if two have the same score and the same time, that would be the next thing. That amount of time to get to that first panel will be the time that will be the tiebreaker. Now they need to come from the right to the left, exactly as she's done. She's now completed. Number 2, going down at a fast pace, but her dog's coming out and slowing it down just a little bit to keep them on that fence so she can line them up for that number 3. And skimmed that ever so slightly. So she's trying to get back over there. And there we go. Get on that fence again. The dog's making sure they go at a steady pace, but he's just coming a little too far over. So she's going back over there. And they have to daylight, so they all need to get past that, into that panel. And the judge just said it's not clear, so she needs to move a little farther. It's hard to see from the angle she's at, but where the judge is seeing, it's a clearer path. And so she's got to move them back up here. And again, this is our novice class. They can have an experienced dog, so she has cleared the entry of that panel. So now if she can keep the dog out holding that those sheep up against that fence, she has all 5, so she has completed number 3. Heading over to number 4 now. She's got them at a good clip, and they're listening to her. Oh, the judge just said they did not clear. I'm at a different angle, and the camera's at a different angle than the judge. And she's got it back set up, and she has number 3. So our temperatures are about 50 degrees. The wind is picking up. You can kind of see the black tarps are flapping a little bit. So that's affecting the sheep out here, the wind, and she's got this all set up really nicely. It's been dry all day, so that's always good. And now she has completed number 4. Nicely done. She's up here by the pen getting ready to set this up. And her score is 180 with time.
Up next, we have Jennifer
And
Stallmeyer on deck, we have Jordan Kilpatrick and Jude. In the hole, we have Johnny Callahan and Cleo.
We'll have up next Jennifer Stallmeyer and Em, and they are from Luther, Oklahoma. We have handlers from all over participating here. We want to thank Nutrina for all their support. They have a booth, so all the handlers and visitors can see all their products. And we're just clearing the course right now. We want to thank XP Ranch Photography and Lori and Kent Herbal doing their support of this trial. Kent is the judge at this arena right now, Kent Herbal. Toby, Arlo R. That screen's too quick for me, so you guys get through that list of all the people. We're up next is Jennifer Stoltenmeyer and M. They are from Luther, Oklahoma. And she can set up anywhere at this end of the arena before that first panel out there. So a lot of these handlers are starting way back here, but they could be up closer if they wanted. She's now called for her sheep. Now the time starts when those sheep have cleared the exhaust pen or she sends her dog. And her dog's going out and around nicely, and the sheep are giving her the eerie eye. What we gonna do? And they said, yep, we're gonna do a nice little lift and march straight up to that panel. And being patient is a good thing here, so they can see there's an opening there in that panel. And they're just, sheep feel the pressure of that panel, the dogs feel it. And so that's just giving them a little bit of energy backwards, and they have to clear to that color, and they have passed number 1. That is the tiebreaker. So they take that time and they use it if the end time, and there's total points, and the tiebreaker would, if the first 3 are tied, then this would be the difference. So who gets to that first panel is important on if there's lots of ties in time and points. Now we're heading up to 2, and if we just move the camera over a little bit more towards the panel there, we can now see 2. So they need to enter from this right side. They come on in, and this dog has everybody listening. They're checking out the dog, seeing what are we going to do here. The dog needs to move over just a little bit, get behind that one, and hopefully they'll see the opening, but they skirted by. Now at this point, the handler could be walking anywhere. They just cannot walk through the panels or put their hands through the panels. So she got number 2, and now she's heading down to 3. And the trick here is to keep those sheep on that fence. And like I've been saying, the wind's blowing. It's kind of hard to tell, but on the camera feed here, but the tarps are moving a bit, so that could be affecting, putting a little pressure on the sheep, not wanting to be that close to the tarps. And she's asking her dog to walk up and be patient here. I think the dog's right to be a little patient, so nicely got them all through almost. We need to clear the end of this panel. So the handler's moving up a little bit. She could be anywhere on the course right now. So she's moving up to make sure that dog takes that flank she needs. And now she has completed number 3. Now we're heading over to 4. And they're looking back at their buddies there just momentarily, but the dog says, nope, you gotta come up to my mom. Nicely done. Slowly bringing them up and through here. And there she has number 4. So she's got a nice control over them. And the dog's holding them a little bit, so by that, that's controlling their speed a little bit. He's right in front of the pin right now. Can't quite see the pin. There you go. Just moving him over a little bit. The handler's on this side, holding this side. Some of the earlier people were on the other side and just didn't give the dog enough area to work. And this handler seems like a good approach. She's got him right here, but she's about ready to run out of time. And the judge does call when it's actually a pin. You have to actually clear inside that panel. So 180 in full points of full time of 5. That is Jennifer and M from Luther, Oklahoma.
That was Jennifer and M with a
All right, we have Jordan Kilpack and Dude from Homedale, Idaho. And he's called for his sheep. And the dog's done a nice job of going out and around. He sent his dog on the away side. And he's got one that's being a little tricky. And he's working his way up there. Little bit, if you get too much right and left and fast, sheep are reacting to that movement of the dog. And that one that came the wrong way has to get all the way cleared, which it is. So it has been cleared, and now they're heading the correct way. Slow it down. And they're going to slide through here. So this first panel is where they do the tiebreaker. So if the total score and the time are the same, they take the time to that first panel to break that time. Now we're going on to number 2 here, and he's moved over to help out, and his dog did a nice job getting number 2. And he's heading now down to 3, and he's make work. His dog just slowed him down, and they are cleared through number 3, and on their way to 4. temperature here is about 50 degrees, and I have all my papers, things on top of them because the wind is getting everything flapping. The tarp's behind us. You can kind of see the tarp blowing in the corner of the screen here. And he's doing a nice job keeping everything kind of calm and going the right direction. And the handler's worked out, so he's kind of in front of me right here, so the dog can just bring those sheep straight up to him and set up for the pen. And he has cleared number 4. And now the handler's up here, and the sheep are kind of looking in that general way. And he's given his dog the open side to work. Again, these are our novice handlers, so this is a great place to start because it's based on your handler skills. So some of these handlers have trained dogs that they're learning with so that they get their timing and everything. And he's got everything settled, which has been working well for people. When they get everything settled here, it just really keeps the flow. And he's got to get it stopped. And it's nerve-wracking here. I feel the tension just sitting here because, you know, he really wants to get this pen. He knows that that's where he's at. And the sheep feel it and the dog do. And he was just getting a little quick there. And it's perfectly normal. And here he brings them up. He's trading sides. He's going to try something different, which is always a great approach. If the first thing didn't work, he's coming over here and trying something else with his dog. And looks like the dog's pulling that direction nicely. Oh, there you go. The dog just took one step the wrong way when on that away flank. And again, he's going to change it up again. And they have to clear, and the judge actually says when they're penned, and he has just called that, so he has number 5, and now he's heading to the repen. Sheep have been a little tricky going to this repen. We have sheep at both ends of the arena, but they are drawing a little bit to where they're coming out. Since it's their first round, the novice handlers are the first ones to getting them, and they're doing a great job keeping these sheep working really nicely, being patient with them. So he got full points. 450 is what my clock is showing, and 270 on the points. And once the last head come through the panel, that's when time starts, or he sends his dog, whichever comes first. And now his dog went to the right side as well. A little bit fast, but now he's got it all slowed down, heading to this first panel. And these sheep are reacting really well off the dogs. He got 4 through. And we'll see if he's going to go back. And once he's turned the stock back towards that panel, that tells us he's going to retry it, and at that point then he must retry it. He could have said he wanted to move on at that point. That is a handler call. He would lose points in that, but it could be a strategy as well. So he's setting up for this panel number 1 again. He's stepping into a different position to see if that helps his dog settle a little bit. His handler's line is these panels. He's got it lined up nicely, and there is his tiebreaker points, or time. That time will break any ties that are happening. Now he's going to come up to number 2, which needs to come from the right. And I believe 1 went through, and if he turns them around, that's telling us he's going to go back, that he wants to get all 5 through. And at this point in the game, they know quite a few people have made full points, so they're thinking they definitely need to make all head through all obstacles to go. Okay, we're setting it up again. He's got it settled, and those sheep see the hole. They're going to go through number 2, and he has completed number 2. He's watching his dog, and he's slowing those sheep down a little bit. And then so he's stepping up to make sure he gets things a little bit settled here. So these novice dogs are seeing the sheep for the first time at this new location with the wind blowing, and he's got the sheep into number 3, and he has completed number 3 and on the way to number 4. And that's where they came out, that little gate there, so that's kind of helping him out to get him up to this number 4 panel. And now he's completed number 4, and the handler and the dog and the sheep are working towards the pin here. And he's stepping up to hold his side a little bit, but they shot the wrong way, so he's setting it up again. Got 2 in the pen, and if he's sending his dog around, he's going to work to get them all in there. And if you just stop everything right here, he's got it. There, he's got it, and the judge just called the pen. Now he's going to head over to the repin. And the dog could take him out, or like he just did, or the handler. They have been allowing the novice handlers to go in and take them out as well. And there's a gap under the fence, so looked like he might have slid out. Now he's got him back and heading for the repin. And the time has stopped. He got full points at 270. My clock says 4:47, but it hasn't been the official time, so I'll wait to hear it.
Callahan and Cleo with a time of 4:47 and a score of 270.
And so the handlers are coming out, and they can call for their sheep at any point. They could go all the way up to that first panel if they wanted to. That would be their handler's line. Once the sheep come out and they've cleared, the time has started. So the time had started as you saw, and then she sent her dog. So sending on the away side. And those sheep are drawing to the place where when they reset them up, they go to that gate that they're going to. Nice setup and to the first panel, and that would be her tiebreaker with a very, very nice time to that tiebreaker. All right, so she's got a nice little smooth run going here, heading to number 2. And through number 2, nice and smooth, and now she's heading down to number 3. Dogs out wide, keeping those sheep calm and slowing the pace down to make sure they stay on the fence. Again, these are our novice handlers, so they could have a trained dog or a dog of their own, and it's a good place to gain experience. So that's panel number 3, and she just has completed it, and they're on the way to number 4, and they're back to that spot where they put the stock. When they take them back down to that end, they go into that hole. Your camera's moving again. Now they're heading to number 4, and nice little movement through there, and she's got a really nice little time going on. She's worked herself over to the pen, so she's all set up to work it. She's on that far side. And so the dog doesn't have a lot of space here to come around, but she's got him settled there. And so she gets him stopped. So she's got 2. She knows that there's a lot of dogs that have full points, so she's got quite a bit of time. She had a really good time going here. So settle it. Patience. This is really hard. I can feel her and the dog and the pressure because we're sitting right here and she's facing me, and the energy. So this is normal that you're feeling it at this point. So the wind's really picking up. Hopefully you can't hear the wind. I'll have to check with the guy if I need to move or do something different here. So she's kind of standing in the opening. She could switch sides or do. It's always hard once they start circling. It kind of gets and the dog's feeling the pressure, knows that their owner wanting this to happen. Still got a nice control of them and calm. But they've gone by it a few times, so it's a little more tricky when they've done that. Come on, walk them up to you and just slide them around there. Okay, here they come. And like I said, this is a tight area. This dog's doing a nice job getting them turned on this side. And they look almost lined up. And she was going to try to wrap them around, but the dog came in just a hair there. A nice little setup there. And we're getting close on time. This is really hard for novice, and pinning is teamwork and tricky. Very, very nicely done. 180 is their points and full time of 5. Our next person up is Maggie King and Echo from Woodland, Wyoming.
That was Echo and Elwood with
All right, we have Maggie King and Echo from Woodland, Wyoming, and this is an Australian Shepherd. And again, the handlers could go all the way to that first panel if they wanted to send their dogs. They have this whole end of the arena to choose from. She's calling for her sheep. And there's kids back there as our chief ring crew. There's about 4 of them back there working really hard, doing a great, great job. She called for her sheep. They're out. Now she's heading for this first panel. And just like we've seen before, it's just really tricky to get it all lined up. Nice job. That'll be her tiebreaker, and that was pretty smooth to that first panel. Now we're on to the second panel. And they need to get a little more to the right so that they get that entry of that panel. The handler at this point could be moving anywhere except through the obstacles. So they need to enter correctly, so you can kind of see the orange, I don't know if it's tape or surveyor's tape on that fence. They need to enter on that right side. The dog's being patient here. And the handler stepped up so she could hold this side. This is a team effort. We want to see smooth this way. Now that last one hasn't cleared, now it has. So she's completed panel 2 now. Now she's moving down the field to number 3. And she's moving up with her dog down to panel 3. And this panel's been a little tricky because I think the tarps are moving a little bit down there. And the judge just told her not to walk through the panels. Remember I said she can't walk through any panels, so they got to be aware. And now they didn't clear that last head through there, so the judge did let her know both those things. So that's always nice with this program, especially in novice, helping people to do the right thing and not make a mistake. So she's got to clear all the way, and our sight line isn't the judge's sight line. They need to come more to the right. He's got a mark on the fence. I just looked down there. You can see it. There's a green line on the fence, and that must be his clear line. And I believe I'm having a hard time seeing it on the screen here. So now she has cleared 3. So we're moving over to 4 over here. Again, this is an Australian Shepherd. We've seen quite a few Border Collies. I believe there's 4 Australian Shepherds here today. Somehow the poor camera person, the camera keeps drifting on her in this corner. It does not want a seat right there. So she's grabbing it and getting it. So she just missed this panel. And get those sheep turned so we can get number 4 and through number 4. All right, now we're on the pins. She's working her way up there. Her dog has covered the backside, so at least she's eliminated one of those circles. A little bit tight here, but got around, so that's great. It's about 50 degrees today. The sun is out. And we have 3 rings going today. Tomorrow we're going to have 4. Then we'll be out in the field as well. And again, this is really important to get these sheep settled in front of this pen. I thought she had it a second ago. She had them all right there. And you can just feel the tension from the dog and the person and the sheep right here, because you're really wanting this to happen. Slowing it down. So 180 is her score, and at 5. All right, we have Haley Jacobs and Stash from Andon, California. And this gentleman is getting away from his dog at a different angle, or that's what she's doing. And she has sent her dog. And has nice steady movement up here. There's lots of pressure of these panels back onto the dog and the sheep. That's why this is so tricky, is just as they turn, they feel the pressure of the dog, they feel those panels. And she's on the wrong side, so she's got to get them back to the bottom of the arena there. And can't go on until you get these scores. And this is Haley and Stash. And here she's got him looped around, but she doesn't quite have the heads turned to that obstacle, so needs to go a little further. And here she's got them nicely turned and through. That's the tiebreaker point right there. So if there is a tie, they have that time to make the difference. So now she's heading to number 2. Okay, going up and helping the dog, encouraging it a little bit there, making sure they get that panel. They've got number 2s completed, heading down to number 3. Want to keep those sheep on that fence. The dog's doing a nice job holding them in. You want to keep that holding them in, otherwise they skim like we just saw. Right, we got 3 going the wrong way, and I believe they're daylighted now because there's a green tape on their wall that you can see so the judge can tell when they've cleared that panel. Okay, she has completed number 3, and now she's moving over to number 4. And got things settled here. She's staying up a little closer so that she can help her dog out. And that's where the sheep get put back when they get turned back for the next round. That's their gate they go into, so there's a lot of pressure on that dog wanting to feel that draw in that spot. And we're working on number 4. And she just stepped up and made sure that the dog had a little support there. And she has cleared number 4 and working on number 5. Sending her dog around to bring him back to the pen here. Nice and wide on that, so it's nice and steady. Now if she gets them stopped, maybe right here. Give the sheep time. This is always hard. These are novice handlers. It's even hard on the open intermediate handlers to keep everything nice and calm. And just get everything stopped here. And she's just got called the pen. Nicely done. Now she can either take them out, or the dog could go in and take them out, or come around the outside and take them out. And now she has to go to the repen. And Haley and Stash are doing a really nice job here. And they still have time. The pen's been a little challenging here, but she just got them straight away. Good job, 429 and full points of 270. Coming out to the arena, and like I said, they can come out on leash or off leash. They can set up anywhere from that first panel this way, and it looks like she's going to move up a little closer, and that's perfectly allowed. She called for her sheep, and the time starts. And dog went around nicely. Oh, I thought he was going to go right on through, but the dog circled around. And we can get the camera. There, the sheep are back in the frame, and they're looping around. So the dog got a little close to the sheep. There you go. All right. So she's still working on her first panel. Things are going a little fast here. And it's the first day and the wind's blowing, and these are our novice handlers, and everybody gets a little nervous at these trials, so everybody feels that. We've all been there. Thank you. And we'll stop that run. We have to take care of the sheep and make sure, and so the judge has called that run, and she's leashing her dog, and stock handlers will be taking out the sheep. Josette Brott and Coop from Jacksonville, Oregon. She is up next. Again, she's coming in on leash. That's perfectly allowed. You can come in on leash or off leash. You just can't have a collar on your dog. No collars are allowed. No stock sticks. A cowboy hat, or this event's ball caps are allowed, and Western attire is part of it. So it's kind of fun. The sheep are out, so the time has started, even though she hasn't sent her dog. And now the dog is away, picking up the stock. And sort of has them lined up for the panel. She got 2 through, so if she wanted to take that, she could. But if she flanks her dog around or doesn't tell the judge she's moving on, then she's going back to reattempt it. So the tiebreaker time doesn't stop until she actually clears and completes that panel with either all the head or the head of her saying she's going to move on. So they need to daylight, which they have now. And now she's asking her dog to get out a little wider so that they come around, and just stopped a little short there. Now they have cleared that panel, so that would be her tide time, which is 1:12 to give you an idea. And now she's heading up to number 2, and she's got a little bit of a split here. The dog's not sure which ones to do, so she just told her to look back and pick those up, and now she's got them back together. Right, we've got them set up, and through number 2 has been completed. So now we're heading down to this other end. They like to run down here because this is where they came from, but nicely done. That dog stayed right in the spot. Now they've stopped. They haven't actually cleared the panel, so she doesn't have the points, but she's coming up here. Again, the handler can't walk through any panels, so she did a nice job of coming to this side of that panel and not walking through it. So she completed number 3, and now she's heading up here to number 4. And there we go. She's getting those sheep lined up, heading the right way. There. She's supporting her dog there. You can see her in the side screen, making sure everything's going in the right direction. Heading to the pen. And she's getting them slowed down. Alright, they're down to that side. She needs to get them back up here. And it's been working for people if they get them all settled close to the pen so they have an opportunity to see what you're trying to do. Find something a little different. Somebody's helping her out and saying there's a sheep behind you, and she's just trying to settle the ones in the pen to get that one to join them. And she blocked here to see if she can get that one to join. And the 4 are being really good to stay, and good job. That was nice little maneuvering there. Convinced that little sheep to go in there. That was teamwork. The handler stepped in, the dog stepped in. Okay, now we're moving to the repen. Again, this has been a little bit tricky, a little bit challenging. You can open that gate, so it's kind of a little L there, so it's kind of helping it. And the sheep's still not convinced it should stay with everybody. All right, 4:48 is my time with full points of 270 for Josie and Coop.
That was Josette Broughton, 2, with a time of 4:48 and a score of 270. Good job. Up next, we have Nicholas on deck here.
All right, Nicholas Corville. Nicholas Corville and Stone from Montana. Coming out with purpose. Coming up this side, closer to us here. And he's going up closer. He can go all the way to those panels if he wanted to. He's calling for his sheep now. And again, the time starts when the sheep are clear that pen or when he sends his dog. So the dog's out and around nicely. He did a nice lift. The sheep are pointing in the right direction. Just a hair of an overflank. These are novice handlers, so they could be new dogs, or it could be a trained dog that they're using. And the dog, that's the draw area over there, so we're trying to make sure the dog feels that pressure. Draw means that that's where the stock wants to go. That's one of the spots that they've been taken through that gate over there. So if you're kind of wondering why they're going to that corner, that's how they go back. We call this a little bit of overflanking. So he's just there. He's going to get him a little bit settled. There we go. He's got everything nice and smooth. In this panel, because there's all those panels sitting there, and the dog and the sheep feel that pressure, and there would be his tiebreaker and his first panel. So he's heading up to number 2 now. His dog's coming out and covering. So things set up for number 2. And the sheep are through the panel. And now they're heading down to number 3. And they're about ready to go through number 3. And I believe they're all through 3. Yep. They're just there. It's completed. He's coming up and just making sure everything stays nice and steady here. Good job. And he can walk anywhere except through panels. So again, this is the gate that they've been going back in, so that's why they're hanging there. In the herding world, we call that a draw. They like to go there. So it's a heavy draw and a lot of pressure at that point. So the dog feels that, and trying to react and trying to keep control of it. And now we're walking up on panel 4, and he is cleared 4. The handler's over here right in front of me, getting ready for his pin. I'm keeping it nice and calm and quiet. And they're nice and stopped right in front of it. And he's got everything nice and soft. Just let everything settle here. And try to keep it all calm and so he's moving up just to support his dog a little bit and make sure everything stays where he wants it. Nice and smooth. Keeping it nice and smooth. And so the sheep are responding to the handler's pressure, this panel, and the dog. Everything plays into setting up for this pin. And there he got the pin. The judge just called it. Again, the dog could go in, the handler could go in, or he could do exactly what he did. That one sheep still thinks it should run away, even though this dog's doing a nice job covering, going out and wide and making sure and bringing it back in. We're heading to the repen, and he's got one that slid by, but the handler's great teamwork. He stepped in there and got it. 459 with 270.
Has Nicholas Gorville and
Croft, Idaho. This is one of our juniors. Their whole family's here. One of Dad's the director and big spawn. Works hard, make sure the livestock's in good shape, and he's calling for his stock. And again, he could come out on leash, that's perfectly fine. And he sent his dog about the time the stock came out. And the dog's going out and around. And again, these novice handlers can have a dog that's been trained and worked by another handler, more experienced, so they learn timing. This dog's doing a really, really nice job of controlling these livestock and keeping everything flowing. And that would be his tie time at like 30 seconds. That's a great, so if he ends with a tie, course points and time, that would be the thing that would separate them. So now he's heading over to 2. And Dad's here watching and supporting, and that's perfectly allowed here, is helping out once in a while. Really want to support these young people in the program. And he hasn't quite completed it. The sheep actually have to clear the end of this panel. There we go. He's got number 2, and he's doing a great job out here. A nice movement down the course. Lots of positive support from the gallery. I don't know if you guys could hear, we had that nice, through the first panel, the group did a clap. Everybody's really supporting everybody on the sidelines here, so it's a nice environment to be in. We're entering number 3, and excellent, beautiful job. He's coming across to number 4. He's really keeping a hold, making sure this dog's listening to him. Again, we've got those sheep heading towards the draw, but the dog's saying, nope, we're heading for this panel. It's got it nicely lined up. And through number 5, and now he's heading to his pen. And Samuel's doing an excellent job holding his side and his dog's side. This is just a beautiful maneuver, and he's been called that it's a pen. And so he went in, which is perfectly allowed, and he's heading to the repen. They can't run here, so he's doing one of the famous MSS fast walks. We haven't seen very many today, and got those penned. Come on, yes! 2:48 is the time and full points, and that is our unofficial leader. Beautiful job, Samuel and Rose. All right, we have Stacy Bisnet and PDA Kirby from Wilton, California is up next. Her dog is off. And that's a nice outrun. We'd like to get those sheep heading for that first panel. And they're just feeling that draw a little more today. They're starting to, as the day went on. They're pulling to that back fence. So these are our novice dogs, and they're doing a really nice job. All right, she's trying to get them settled at that panel. That pressure of those panels, those dogs feel it, they sheep. That's the type breaker and the points for panel number 1. So she's moving on to number 2. And those sheep are just really feeling that draw, going back to that one gate that they went through. Even though they're going in and out of many gates here, that one seems to be calling their name. So she got all of them through again and heading to number 2. All right. They're going to come around. They need to come from the right. You can see the marker on the fence. That's so the judge knows where the daylighting line is. So there is full points on number 2. Now she's heading down to number 3. A nice steady run. And the trick here is to keep the pressure off the side, keeping them going in a steady piece down that fence so they just go through that panel like she just did. That's panel number 3. Now we're heading to 4. Got them turned off that gate and heading to number 4 really nicely. Stopping a little bit, check out where that dog is. And there she goes, got number 4. Now they're heading up here to the pen. And one actually went in. Handler's coming up. Needs to get it a little softened, stop everything here and give them a chance. Seem to be responding to this dog really, really nicely. And she got a nice pen, and her and the dog are working as a team. That was lovely. Seeing some really nice work out of these novice handlers. Now she's heading over to the repen. It's a little tricky because they really want to go back to the other end. But these novice dogs and handlers are really controlling it. Good job, good helping. The handler is in there. And full points with 357.
Stacy Bismuth and Kurt.
You need to be dressed Western. You must have a collared shirt, no stock sticks, and no collars. So once he's called for his sheep, he then sent his dog. And he's got them kind of lined up, but again, the pressure of those panels, the sheep feel it, and they just kind of roll. So we need to turn them back to, can't go on until we get that panel 1 because we need that tiebreaker time. You just need at least one head through that, so it's up to the handler how they handle it. So he's back down there. And some of these dogs that stop hard, you see they do a nice job stopping, but it just gives a little bit too much reaction out of the sheep because he's moving so fast. Okay, he's got everything slowed down. He stepped up a little closer so he can make it. So he got all through panel 1. That would be his tiebreaker time. It will happen right there. Now we need to head to number 2, which is on the far side, kind of heading the wrong way. The draw to that other end is pretty strong. He's working him up here. Now if he gets him on the fence here, and that's just the draw from that other end. You know, they're the furthest away, and so the draw is pretty strong. There we go. We got everything settled. The sheep finally decided that dog's going to hold us up here. We're going to just listen to it. He needs to be out towards me a little bit here and holding those sheep against that fence, and he'll get this panel 2 just like that. Lovely. Nut panel number 2. Now he's heading down to 3. He's going to try to slow him down a little bit. Did a good job not turning him, just slowing him down, keeping him on the fence. And he got number 3. Nicely done. Now he's heading number 4. If he can keep him moving, it's keeping him on the fence. Nicely done. He's at number 4. Okay. Okay, we're heading to the pen. Just received a warning. We want to be taking care of the sheep. So one went in, the other 4 are looping around. Sheep don't want to be the lone survivor out there. They want to stay together. And the handler's switching sides. He's going to try another plan of attack here. And again, 2 have gone in. And we have to slow it down at the pen. That's kind of the key here. They can't see it if they're... He's doing a good job getting his dog settled here and thinking. Remember, this is hard over here. This is pretty tight over here on this side. Having the dog come in here and get those sheep turned. Handler's coming out a little bit on this side, see if he can get things settled. He's got it nice and settled now. And he's out of time. So 180 and full time. And that was our last run. We'll be setting up for the nursery and having handlers meetings. So we'll be offline for a little bit.